This video comes from X, or what used to be called Twitter, so I don't have any backstory. The caption above the video said, "Nothing says no like a bullet." Hey guys, retired Lieutenant Todd Heaton here with Humilitas First. So I would guess that she caused an injury based upon the close distance when she began sending little projectiles at 1200 feet per second. But I don't know. He doesn't seem any worse for the wear as he sprints away. Most likely, this was just a failed robbery attempt, rather than what the caption suggested. But there's still valuable lessons here. The first one is that bad guys have composure. They have that confidence based upon their bad guy experience right up until the point that things begin to go badly. When things stop going their way, well, they start looking to save themselves. There's no honor among thieves. That's part of the whole bad guy ethos. It's what they believe at their core. They're going to take care of number one. It's good for you to come to understand the methods that bad guys consistently and repeatedly use against you. I believe that she knew precisely what was coming. I'm going to guess that this is somewhere in South America. Well, once she sees these two coming, her attention locks on, and I believe that she sees and immediately understands all of the little subtle details. Details like a subtle change in speed by the driver, who slows as if the driver is setting the stage for the passenger to dismount the bike while it's still rolling. Details like which side of the driver is the passenger looking around. Specifically, it's her side as she approaches this intersection. Probably just a coincidence, right? Then there's a shift in the rear passenger's positioning on the seat. Why is she suddenly seeing more of the rear passenger's torso? And what's he doing with that lead foot? Details like his right elbow jutting out to the side. Something is not right. It's almost as if he's holding something like a pistola in his right hand, just out of sight behind the driver's left shoulder. That just don't look natural. A not so subtle detail. As the rear passenger dismounts, he hits the ground running. There's the gun that's now visible in his right hand. She read this perfectly. Now, let's take a look at all of the things that she did very well. She had the knowledge base to understand the reality of the situation for what it was. We're going to see her begin to turn away and reach for what I believe is the firearm in her waistline. Timing is a critical aspect of legitimate self-defense. Act too soon and the bad guy sees what's what. We want to act at a moment where his attention shifts, when he's negotiating a transition. Like jumping off the back of a moving motorcycle? That might be a good time. Does he look at the ground before he jumps? I don't know. We'd have to ask her. Overreact too soon, and you've got major legal problems on the next battlefield. Hesitate or act too late, and perhaps all you achieve is an early grave for yourself. If your choice is going to be to legitimately defend yourself, then you might want to understand and master transitions. Remember, bad guys first steal time by stealing distance. He's going to dismount when he's acquired a relatively close proximity, an apex point. That point where just about 90 degrees relative to the direction and position of the motorcycle, he's going to dismount. We see this over and over and over again with these kinds of attacks, whether it's a motorcycle or a vehicle. Same thing. Look at the timing on this. The bad guy is entering into a transition. The transition of dismounting the motorcycle and hitting the ground running. Well, we know transitions are opportunities for the bad guys and for the good guys if you know how to use them. If you know how to time them. It's about timing. You got to get the timing right. Her timing is impeccable. And she's going to tell him a little story with her body language. We see an aspect of humility. Taking the lowest seat. Some people call this sandbagging. Humility is a powerful weapon if you know how to use it to regain the element of surprise. Look at her right elbow jutting out about 90 degrees. This is the point that I believe her firearm comes out. So she's turned away, blading her strong side, her gun side, using the rest of her body as kind of a visual barrier, a visual obstruction for the criminal. He just had to go through his own transition of dismounting. And this is all happening really fast. So there's going to be a strong temptation for him to focus on the flight aspect of this. I can only imagine him thinking, check her out, thinking she can outrun me. Oh, I'm going to catch her in the next 2 seconds. She don't know it, but she's fixing to get dominated. Part of mastering transitions, it's going to include understanding expectations. What is the bad guy expecting to see based upon his perception? But if you get the timing wrong and spike fear in his brain, then maybe he just shoots you. So again, timing is critical. What she's doing is also a transition. The turning back and beginning to shoot, that's only going to take milliseconds. So this is going to be a most unwelcome surprise for the bad guy. And in this particular case, it worked. He started looking to save himself. If you're a fan of the channel, then you know that I consistently recommend facing potential threats, not giving up your back. The word potential is the qualifying term there. Now, I still don't like the idea of giving up my back, but I do understand how in some circumstances it can work to your advantage. It's a kind of transition that you can fully exploit over your unjust adversary, the bad guy. This particular robbery, well, it was a potential right up until the point that he jumps off the motorcycle with the pistola in his hand. Then it's no longer potential, it's an actual unjust imminent deadly force threat at that very point. There are a number of things that you have to consider. For instance, in this case, she's concealed carry and she's facing a 2-man robbery crew. So the probability of her being patted down or searched is going to be a lot higher. If she doesn't have a gun, then the best solution might be to comply, except that you got caught slipping and give up your wallet, your phone, and your car keys. Her initial reaction of starting to run also, it fit in with what the contact robbers' acceptable expectations were. She's a woman. So he's not real surprised by this initial reaction. Looks like fear to me. It looks like she sees, oh, I'm not going to be able to get away, so then she stops. But surprise, surprise, she's got a gun in her hand and willing to do that next hard, seemingly dirty thing most people don't want to do. There are a number of other videos where blading your strong side away, remember this one? And temporarily giving up your back to get the gun out, it's worked. But these transitions, they fit in with the robber's expectations. If you haven't heard this particular story and observed the video, it's over on Attorneys on Retainer on their website. It gives us an awesome example of a robbery victim using this kind of a transition to dominate and win the fight, which saves his life. I'll put a link in the description. It's a pretty long video, but the first 10 minutes or so, well, that's where the gold is. Remember, there are no guarantees. Regardless of what you choose to do, there's only varying levels of risk, which is why it's better to avoid these two idiots in as much as is possible. What's that look like, you might ask? Well, here's what it's going to look like. You see these two guys approaching this intersection that you're approaching. So there's no question you are in alignment for a potential meet and greet, for them to have the opportunity to do exactly what they did. So what do? Well, you stop and then you start backing up until you get back here by the front of the car. That way, if he still jumps off, which is unlikely, well, he's got a distance problem. And low-level bad guys typically don't shoot so well. If you've done the work to shoot well, you've got the full length of the vehicle as some degree of cover. And now the bad guy robber, well, he has this big open area, so he has no cover. He just got the odds stacked against him. And his probability of having a really bad day goes way up. So in essence, take away their opportunity. Is that odd and awkward and weird to stop and start backing up while you're still facing your threat? Sure. And bad guys recognize that as you're either the popo or you're a wolf, just like them. And they'll just move on till they find a sheep or a goat. If they don't move on, then consider how you've already begun stacking advantages on both the physical and the legal battlefields. You've increased distance, you've given yourself close proximity to some degree of cover, and you've shown avoidance for your part and pursuit on their part. How is this not a good thing? It is a good thing. You're just stacking the odds against them. One of the things I teach in my course is just how important the will is. There's kind of a debate in the shooting community, the self-defense community, as it relates to tactical knowledge versus hard skills. The truth is, it takes a lot longer to build the hard skills. So you really want to get busy doing that work of figuring out grip and vision. We can see here by her example that stance isn't guaranteed. The way that this shook out, her stance sucked. She still had to shoot the gun. So that's going to come down to grip and vision. Have you done the work? Yes, you need hard skills. And yes, you need tactical knowledge. You need both. But those things are going to go nowhere if you don't have the will to decisively act to solve your unjust, criminal, violent problem. You got to have the will. It's going to come down to the will.